If there were chariots found in the Red Sea, it would probably have something to do with the crossing of the sea.
And we have some examples. Skeletons of humans, skeleton parts of horses and bulls, chariot wheels.
Only one event in history they could belong to. And what divers have now uncovered is far bigger than a shipwreck. It is a battlefield, an entire army, preserved in coral at the bottom of the sea. For years, people asked, is there any real physical evidence? The answer is now impossible to ignore. Yes, there is. Human skeletons, horse remains, chariot wheels, some with 4, some with 6, even 8 spokes, perfectly matching the Egyptian New Kingdom. And this discovery doesn't just support an ancient story, it threatens to rewrite history. Yet Egyptologists remain silent, because behind this find is a secret operation worth more than $10 million. In late 2024, a small, highly classified team, divers, engineers, and underwater archaeologists, launched a privately funded mission. No university involvement, no government oversight. Their backers insisted on anonymity. They carried military-grade ROVs, high-definition cameras, hypersensitive magnetometers, and advanced side-scan sonar. They weren't searching for pottery. They weren't searching for anchors. They were searching for something specific, something mainstream science had dismissed for decades: the lost army of the Pharaoh. The rumors that wouldn't die. For years, amateur divers claimed that coral-covered wheels, bones, and chariot parts littered a particular region of the Red Sea's Gulf of Aqaba. Scholars called it fantasy, pseudoscience, myth. But the 2024 team wasn't relying on rumors. They had a map. A map created by a man the academic world had laughed at. The sonar hits something impossible. The team scanned the seafloor in wide grids. For days, nothing. Then, the sonar operator froze. Perfectly round, symmetrical anomalies appeared on the monitor. Not rocks, not shadows. Wheels. Hundreds of them, trailing in a straight line across the seabed. The ROV descended. Its lights pierced the deep. Slowly, shapes emerged from the sand. A wheel, then another, then dozens. A sprawling debris field nearly 1.5 miles long, a battlefield frozen in time. Divers entered the water, and what they saw confirmed everything. Wheels with identical designs to ancient Egyptian military chariots, axles and fragments of chariot cabs, tangled, bronze, fossilized wood, sealed in coral and bones, horses and humans, still positioned where bodies would have fallen. Then came the most shocking discovery: a faint glimmer beneath the coral. A gold-plated chariot wheel, pristine, immovable, locked in coral like a time capsule, likely belonging to a royal officer, or the Pharaoh himself. Everything was documented in 4K clarity. When some Egyptologists were quietly shown the footage, they said nothing. Not denial, not excitement, just silence. The geography that changes everything. The Gulf of Aqaba is one of the deepest trenches in the region, 5,000 to 6,000 feet, a monstrous underwater canyon. Except for one place, a hidden 10-mile-wide underwater land bridge stretching from Egypt's Nuweiba beach to Saudi Arabia. A raised seabed surrounded by sudden, deadly drop-offs. Its deepest point is only about 900 feet, shallow compared to the abyss. Invisible from the surface, but unmistakable on sonar. And the biblical description aligns with this geography exactly. Nuweiba Beach, huge but trapped by mountains. No escape except forward, right where the land bridge begins. The distribution of wheels and bones follows this ridge perfectly, as if an army attempted to cross it and never made it. Coral preserved everything. The depth protected it from storms, currents, and looters. Without this exact underwater structure, nothing would have survived. This wasn't a shipwreck. This was hundreds of chariots on a narrow path, caught in the same moment. The man who pointed to this spot decades ago. His name was Ron Wyatt, a nurse anesthetist turned biblical explorer. In the 1970s, he rejected the shallow marsh theories and followed the clues to the Gulf of Aqaba. He dove with cheap scuba gear and claimed he saw chariot wheels, bones, even a golden wheel. He was mocked, ridiculed, dismissed as a fraud. He died in 1999, unbelieved, but he left behind coordinates, maps, notes. In 2024, the secret expedition followed them. Sonar revealed the land bridge. ROVs found the wheels. Divers confirmed the bones. And yes, the golden wheel was there. Every major detail Wyatt claimed has now been independently recorded. And the academic world, once so confident, now faces a new reality. A massive ancient army lies at the bottom of the Red Sea. And the question becomes, if the seabed truly holds the remains of an Egyptian army, how did it get there? Away in 1999, Ron Wyatt died, with his claims still mocked by nearly every scholar on Earth. But he didn't die empty-handed. He left behind his research, he left his maps, and he left the exact coordinates of the underwater land bridge and the debris field he said he had discovered. So when a secret high-tech expedition launched in 2024, they weren't diving blind. They were following Ron Wyatt's map. And their $10 million arsenal of sonar systems, HD cameras, and military-grade ROVs began confirming, one by one, the impossible claims the Tennessee nurse had made decades earlier. The sonar confirmed the land bridge. The ROVs confirmed the wheels. 4-spoked, 6-spoked, and 8-spoked, exactly matching New Kingdom Egyptian chariots. The divers confirmed the bones, and they even saw it, a faint golden glimmer beneath coral, the same kind of gold-plated wheel Wyatt had reported. This is the core of the controversy. Scholars who dismissed Wyatt for years are now staring at high-tech data, proving he was at least correct about one thing: a massive ancient debris field exists at the bottom of the Gulf of Aqaba. Which raises a far more terrifying question. If there's an army at the bottom of the sea, how did it get there? And this is where the theories get wild. Wild Theory 1. The volcano tsunami. What if the miracle wasn't supernatural, but perfectly timed? Around 3,500 years ago, the volcano on the Greek island of Santorini exploded, one of the biggest eruptions in human history. The blast was so massive it reshaped the region and would have sent tsunamis ripping across the Mediterranean and down into the Red Sea. And tsunamis have a signature. Before the giant wave hits, the water pulls back. A massive drawback. The sea recedes for miles, exposing the seabed. To an ancient eyewitness, it would look like the sea literally splitting apart. So imagine, the Israelites are trapped on Nuweiba Beach, mountains behind them. The Thera eruption triggers a colossal drawback. The 10-mile underwater land bridge suddenly appears. The Israelites run across the exposed path. The Egyptian army charges after them. And then the return wave arrives, a wall of water hundreds of feet high. Obliterating the army instantly, it explains the parting, the crossing, and the catastrophic collapse. Wild Theory 2, the Ark of the Covenant superweapon. This one ties directly back to Ron Wyatt. Wyatt didn't just claim chariot wheels, he claimed he found the Ark of the Covenant. And some researchers believe the Ark wasn't just a religious relic, but an ancient energy device, a capacitor, or even a weapon. Here's the theory. Moses wasn't just leading escaped slaves, he was carrying Egypt's most powerful technological secret. Pharaoh wasn't pursuing laborers, he was trying to retrieve a stolen superweapon. The Israelites reach the sea. Moses uses the device. The water parts. The army follows into the corridor. The ark is deactivated. The walls of water collapse. It explains the pillar of fire, Pharaoh's desperation, and the supernatural nature of the crossing. Wild? Absolutely. But it fits the clues. Wild Theory 3. Lost acoustic technology. Some researchers propose that ancient civilizations understood frequency engineering, using sound to move matter. What if Moses' staff was a resonant device? What if powerful acoustic frequencies held the water back? A corridor forms. The Israelites cross. The frequency stops. The water crashes. It sounds impossible, until you remember we already use sound today to move droplets, grains of sand, and even small particles. But all theories lead to one point. Something powerful enough to destroy an army happened in the Gulf of Aqaba, and the remains stayed preserved in coral for over 3,000 years. So why the silence? The real reason scholars are frozen. For over a century, academic consensus insisted the Exodus never happened. They argued, no evidence, for millions wandering, no Egyptian record of a destroyed army, no mass graves, no campsites, no pottery, no proof. Entire careers, entire institutions were built on the Exodus being myth. But suddenly, at the exact location Wyatt marked, divers find chariot wheels, axles, horse and human bones, 6- and 8-spoked wheels unique to the Egyptian 18th dynasty, a debris field perfectly matching the biblical geography. If this site is real, it doesn't just challenge Egyptology, it destroys its foundation. A professor who has spent 30 years publishing "The Exodus is a Myth" cannot suddenly admit that a nurse with a scuba tank found the real crossing. So what happens? They ignore it. They bury it. They demand impossible proof while accepting far less for their own theories. They are gatekeepers, and this discovery is a battering ram. But there's a darker theory. What if this isn't just academic self-preservation? What if this is geopolitical? If a real Red Sea crossing site is proven, it becomes physical evidence of the foundational miracle of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It would ignite a global religious shockwave. Billions of people would have proof of divine intervention. Would powerful institutions want that? Probably not. And what do powerful institutions do with dangerous truths? They erase them. The vanishing evidence. Ron Wyatt said he recovered a gold-plated chariot wheel. He documented it. He reported it. Then it vanished. Critics laugh. It never existed. But what if it was confiscated? Modern sonar comparisons reveal something chilling. Areas thick with artifacts in the 70s and 80s are now empty. Drag marks scar the seafloor. Objects appear deliberately removed. This isn't erosion. This isn't natural decay. This is human interference. While scholars remain silent, the debris field, the one thing that could rewrite history, is being erased. So what is this? The greatest archaeological find of the modern age, or a 40-year cover-up finally unraveling? And if the discovery is real, who is so desperate to bury it?